Martin, that was a pretty epic birthday weekend, wasn't it, chap? I mean, Saturday, Twilight Imperium, 12 hours, and to miss out on the win by picking the wrong bloody strategy card. I'm gutted. Gaming with our peeps at the Mid-Sussex Meeple's game day on the Sunday. There's another 8 hours of gaming. Yep, not to mention another 4 or 5 hours on Monday evening with Jason and the crew at Crawley Gaming Club. Hang on. 12, 8, 4, carry the 1, minus that, square root that. Hang on, that's nigh on 24 hours of gaming over 3 days. Now that's a marathon. Yeah, without all the running, you're right. With all that said, there's only one more thing left to do before we can sit down and relax. And that is... No, it's read the news, silly. Yeah, you know what to do. Hit it. Some big news for both video gamers, board game enthusiasts, and has Jason slightly excited, is the latest announcement from Arcane Wonders. Over at Gamma Expo 2023 earlier in the week, Arcane Wonders announced a long-term partnership with the groups Activision Publishing Inc., Genuine Entertainment, and Evolution. The collaboration aims to produce a new strategy game series inspired by the hugely popular video game franchise Call of Duty, entitled, imaginatively enough, Call of Duty the Board Game. Call of Duty the Board Game promises to provide an intense and immersive gaming experience combining strategy, tactical planning and indeed combat. Players will assume the roles of elite operators like Ghost Riley or Captain Price, whilst engaging in fast-paced action and battling against each other on the iconic maps like Shoot House or Standoff, inspired from the video games. So get building a custom combat deck with your favourite signature weapons, items and tactics, then jump straight into the action. The initial game release will feature stunning artwork and high-quality components, including miniatures of the iconic operators and weapons from the Call of Duty franchise. A variety of scenarios and gameplay modes will be available, allowing players to experience and share the excitement of Call of Duty in an entirely new format. Brian Pope, CEO of Arcane Wonders and one of the lead designers of the game, expressed his enthusiasm for the partnership and said at the announcement, "We're thrilled to be partnering with Activision to bring the Call of Duty franchise to the tabletop. As lifelong COD fans, we've worked hard to capture the scope, stakes and sheer intensity of the video games in ways that COD fans and board gamers new and old will love. We're looking forward to bringing the unforgettable fun and competitive frenzy of COD to game night for years to come." At the time of recording, the publisher had only revealed the cover image along with teaser promos, so we're looking forward to any more news as it comes. Call of Duty the board game is set for a Kickstarter release sometime later this year, with fulfillment and retail release slated for 2024. Mentioned briefly last week as it jumped into the BGG Top 5, Cascadia Landmarks has had a little more light thrown on it over the past week. In this expansion from Randy Flynn, Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin and Sean Stankiewicz, players create sprawling habitats and place beautiful natural landmarks within them. Landmarks give each environment its own look and feel, while also providing dynamic endgame scoring bonuses. The expansion is set to include more unique wildlife scoring cards, additional habitat tiles to add more variety, and enough components to expand Cascadia to play with 5 or 6 players. Cascadia publisher Flatout Games expects the expansion to be available in the latter quarter of 2023, although German licensee Cosmos have plans to have it available at Spiel 23 in October. Revive was one of the most talked about games from Spiel 22. The game sees you revive civilization 5,000 years after everything was destroyed, leading your tribe and exploring the frozen earth, harnessing its resources and recruiting survivors to your cause. While the world is set to expand in 2023, thanks to the expansion Revive Call of the Abyss from its original designers and publisher Aporta Games. The expansion introduces the mysterious life form Cyphos, which lives in a giant lake that are formed by meltwater from the glaciers. By building near lakes, you gain devotion points which let you assess the new and powerful Cyphos cards. You also use the switch action to initiate journeys, sending out your citizens on missions to gain more devotion points. Aside from the Cyphos cards, 18 journey cards, 3 lakes and the devotion track, this expansion contains 15 new machine tokens, 9 slot modules, 9 new citizen cards, and 4 new tribes, with all of the content bar one tribe being compatible with solo play. The 4 new tribe boards feature only an advanced side, and each has its own unique rules, advanced abilities and technologies, and they are the Kairos, the Gibwalks, the Osterius, and the Cordycephians. It's time to boldly go where no man has gone before. But seeing as escape rooms and games are sort of a thing now, we think there's a fair few people there already. But escape is certainly the goal. Along with exploration, in Star Trek, Cryptic are puzzles and pathways adventure. An escape room style of game for one or more players set in the next generation era of Star Trek, brought to us by the one and only Funko Games. This game includes 3 missions, each taking 60 to 90 minutes to complete, and in the publisher's words, using your pad as your guide, you'll decipher subspace transmissions, discover alien civilizations, and prevent planetary disaster with logic, deduction, and creative thinking. Richard Breese from R&D Games has started showing off the Glade, his new 1-to-4 player design that looks unlike anything he's released in recent years. In the Glade, you fill your personal forest board with sets of forest tiles that feature creatures, leaves, and forest fruits. Create sets of 3 tiles to place one of your toadstool counters onto the central Glade board. Complete a set of 4 tiles to add a toadstool to your store. Claim toadstool counters from the Glade for your store by playing matching forest tiles. Then you play toadstool counters into enclosures in your forest to create extra actions. When one player has played all 12 of their toadstool counters, or when all the forest tiles have been drawn from the bag, the player with the most points wins. After playing the basic game, progress to the matching game, in which you also match your forest tiles to the creatures, leaves, or forest fruits on your forest board. If you've ever wanted to teach your kids and family in general about the true positives of necromancy, then the creepy cute card game Body Snatchers from Fights and Fancy may be the ideal game for you. Body Snatchers is a card game for 2 to 5 players, where you play an animated Skellybob, attempting to find enough pieces of other bodies and a handful of gold to get the dodgy necromancer at the outskirts of town to resurrect you. As you play, you'll build the town you'll play around, lay traps for the other players, and also try to avoid running afoul of Burke and Hare, the resurrectionists of an entirely different kind. The creepy cute look of the game and the idea of skeletons attempting to resurrect themselves is the very definition of whimsical yet macabre. The gameplay sounds like it offers a lot of fun and replayability, with the constantly shifting town and the constant creeping threat of the alive people coming to steal your body parts. It doesn't sound like the necromancy is going to run out of business anytime soon. Well, with Mr. Paul O'Grady trying his hardest in recent years to get folks to adopt rescue dogs, it seems just the right time to tell you about a new game from Lottie and Jack Hazel, creators of Dog Park. Forever Home is an upcoming board game designed to support between 1 and 5 players. During the game, which will take you around 20 to 45 minutes to play through, players attempt to train various rescue dogs and help them to find the perfect family to be adopted by. As players assist more canine companions to be prepared for and matched with their dream homes, they'll acquire a reputation for their great work, giving them an advantage over their fellow dog matchers. The gameplay mechanics of Forever Home revolve around drafting, meaning that players pick between a selection of options for their board. Set collection, which requires players to gather matching groups of components in order to score points, and tile placement, wherein players pick up and place tiles onto their boards in point-scoring combinations. The press release for the game describes it as playing similarly to the likes of board games such as Azul, Cascadia and Draftosaurus. Alongside the main multiplayer mode, Forever Home also features a solo board game mode for players to experience. Forever Homes is set to be released this September for £33, with a percentage of the profits being donated to an animal rehoming charity, which will be chosen via the Birdwood Games community. And here's the Board Game Geek Top 5 Hotness. So these games on the list may already be out, due to come out, or crowdfunding at the moment. It tends to be a list based on what people are searching for over on Board Game Geek right now. On to this week's top 5 games, making waves over on Board Game Geek, as of recording, as always. In 5. Kutna-Hora, the City of Silver, is a historical city-building Eurogame for 2 to 4 players that features a real-life supply and demand experience in which every action you take has an impact on the game's dynamic economic systems. In 4. Darwin's Journey is a worker placement Eurogame in which players recall Charles Darwin's memories of his adventure through the Galapagos Islands, which contributed to the development of his theory of evolution. In 3. World Breakers Advent of the Khanti is a customizable 2-player card game. Players start the game with a World Breaker that has a unique special ability, a deck of 30 cards, and aiming to be the first person to reach 10 power. In 2 is Heat, Pedal to the Metal, recently back in stock, all but briefly, puts players in the driver's seat of intense car races, jockeying for a position to cross the finish line first, all while managing their car's speed if they don't want to overheat. In 1. And Earth remains in the top 5 as the open world engine builder, remaining solid in its gamers' hearts. And we're heading on over to crowdfunding, and this week we are over on Kickstarter. Well, with so many old IPs getting remakes, board game adaptations, suppose it was only a matter of time before they got round to John Carpenter's classic, They Live. They look like us, they sound like us, but they are not human. The exciting new card game focuses on strategy, teamwork and deceit. Working collectively is the only way to survive, but not everyone is who they say they are. Not everyone is human. Hidden among the group are secret invaders determined to enslave the city and destroy humanity. The humans are outnumbered, but the invaders have the advantage of knowing what the teams are. As a group, you must work together to gather resources, arm yourselves, defeat enemies, and uncover the invaders before it's too late. Each turn begins with new resources being drawn to the middle of the table. These include weapons, ammunition, city parts, and more. Players take turns to equip any cards they need. Enemies can be drawn with the resources and you will have to battle them as a group. But who isn't helping enough? Who is letting the enemies pass? Is it because they are low on health, low on weapons, or are they secretly an invader trying to sabotage you all? The more damage you take, the closer your character comes to their critical health value. And when critical, other players can use their Hoffman lenses to discover your true identity. Do you suspect someone of being an invader? You could attack them, then check their identity card to be sure. Or maybe you are an invader, and you want to attack another player and then lie about what you saw on their card. As humans, your goal is to work out who among you is the invader, stop them from enslaving the city, and take them down before it's too late. But that won't be easy. You'll need to watch your opponents closely. As an invader, your goal is to stay hidden, act human, and capture the city. You need to throw doubt on other players and make them accuse the wrong people, while you quietly stretch your influence over the city. The more areas you enslave, the closer you get to victory. So you've come here to play cards and chew bubblegum, and you're all out of bubblegum. The base pledge gets you the game for just £25. Add the upgrade pack offering additional game components and a proper pair of Hoffman glasses in a case for just £35. Or throw in some neoprene player mats with your upgrade pack and the game for £50. The project is live over on Kickstarter right now and is running through until Saturday, 20th of May. Right, Brian, time to put our feet up. Have we still got any birthday cake left, or have you eaten it all? I thought so. Glad we got some more from Kate and Christina on Sunday then, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, and Dexter. Or which one do you want? Nope, they're both going to give you a sugar rush. You and I will be bouncing off the walls later. Oh, cool. Well, say goodbye first. And it's a goodbye from me. Keep safe, Meeples. Keep those dice rolling, the cards shuffling, and we'll be right here for you next week.